We're on our way. Hello and welcome to a relatively emergency edition of Talk of the Town. I say emergency, we knew we were all going to make the playoffs. It was never in doubt. Brought to you by Thrifty, Van, and Car Hire. Thank you to those guys for all their support this season. Nath, you all right, mate?
Yeah, all good. And I mean, yeah, I mean, the last time we were here, I think we said we were going to get playoffs. I'd be lying if we said that wasn't tested and we didn't feel like we might come out looking a bit silly, but they've pulled through and we've done it. And we've done it in the best way, getting there on the final day as well. So what a way to do it.
And we got there on our own merit, didn't we, really? We weren't. It wasn't a case of someone else slipped up. We got there on. We did our part and we got there. If you're wondering why me and Nath are also wearing shirts, um, firstly, they're amazing. Go buy one. And we're also just go buy one. They're amazing. I collect football shirts, and I'm not just saying this because I'm involved with Exmouth Town, but these are actually really good. Probably the best quality shirt I've bought in a while. Shout out to Swaz. You can tell the love and care. I'm glad me and Nath didn't get the home shirt each because that would have been a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, it looks a bit silly, a bit schoolboy.
I've even got the little one's shirt, which is more of a dress, but she'll grow into it. So yeah, they're still on sale. I Were they 20, £25?
They were 20. I'll be honest, I don't know details on the website, but if you're going to purchase them, it'll be through there. Because obviously, regardless what happens, we're not going to have a home game for the rest of the season. I don't know, maybe they'll be available at the end of the season awards, but I doubt it. So
Yeah.
online would be the place to go, the Swaz website.
You may be able to pick them up at the end of season two. Speaking of season two, end of season two is the 16th. A post has gone out. We'll keep posting updates for that. Barbecue, it's free. Barbecue awards, free drinks for gold members. I think it was 7:30. Come down, celebrate what has been a fantastic season. Hopefully the weather's great. I know there's no party like an Expo Town party. One of us will be there. I'll be there. I don't know if Nath is
Yeah.
coming, but I'll definitely be there to come and say hi and take some pictures and post on social medias of everybody in a varying states of alcohol fused enjoyment. I think that's everything other than the news. There's no way travel. Lol, jokes. There is a bus running to Evesham. By the time this comes out, that bus may be sold out, but as we are
Yeah.
recording it, there is a couple spaces left. If you want to come to Evesham on the bus, contact the socials or contact Sam like ASAP. Um, and if there's a space, you can get booked on. Um, I think that's everything. There's no more news. I think news is kind. Oh, Ian Boyd as well. Ian Boyd's at the club on Sunday doing a gig as well. There's
Yeah.
posts and stuff about that as
Four,
well.
yeah, 4 p.m. free barbecue as well. So, and it's free entry as always. And yeah, and a thank you to everyone that came out to the charity event as well on Sunday, the Marley Mayer Salon, raising money for like men's mental health. I was there, my mate was playing, so I came down, and yeah, was a great day by the looks of it, and I think 3,000 plus raised, so really good turnout and lovely day for it too. So yeah, well done to all involved in that one for sure.
Yeah, well done to everybody involved for a great cause. And thanks to the club, I suppose, for putting that on as well and everything involved with that. That's all the news. We'll get on. This is an emergency one. We'll do all the end of season like thank yous and any news that comes out of playoffs and towards next season in a couple of weeks. So Nath, shall we talk about the run-in? I can't remember how many games we've played since we've done this. So just
We
summarize.
played we
What's
played a
your
lot. Yeah.
we played a lot. We played a lot of games this year. Um, what's your thoughts
We,
heading into, I suppose, the end of the league campaign?
Well, there was definitely a lot of games played, and a lot of games didn't play very well. There was a real blip, to be honest, for a while, and I can't quite remember the last time we did this, but we were struggling a little bit form wise. Our away form had dipped, so we'd lost to Malvern, lost to Shaftesbury, drew with Cinderford, which was a bit of a tough one to take, especially because it was late on, and we didn't necessarily play particularly well, but we were slightly the better side, and then they got us late, and that became a bit of a theme. The Westbury game, we dropped late, and things like that. So we were
Edmonton.
on definitely a bit of a blip, and to be honest, I think all of us, if we left that Bedmonton game going, it's been a good season, but it's not going to happen. That it is what it is. We've done very well, but the race has been run now. But from there, it's been complete 360 or 180, sorry, to a really great run of form. I mean, 4 games played, no goals conceded. I can't remember the exact amount of goals scored. I said it the other day, but I forgot now. Just probably work out very easily. But brilliant win against Cribs. Well, Falmouth, sorry, to set the tempo. The difference, the big difference, and for all of it, bar Helston, which was probably more down to fatigue than anything, was the way we start games now. It's been a lot quicker. It's been a lot more, putting your foot down and making sure we let them know that we're here and starting fast. And that, has been with Jack Thorne coming into the team, you've seen that sort of added pace and power and the fact that then, you can have that. And then all of a sudden, if we're struggling to break a team down, i.e. Helston, you've got 25 goal a season striker Tom Bath on the bench to come on and change it. And that worked out against Helston. And then obviously the Cribs game, the Cribs, weren't the best team we've ever played, but they had a lot to play for. That could have completely gone another way. Score early, set the tempo, and they couldn't keep up with it. And we, if we'd have stayed on it second half, we could have won that game by probably a lot more. Helston was a difficult one because they seem to rapidly improve within the last week. And then they put up a really good fight. But, Helston were a bit like us the start of last season. There was fight there, but sometimes the quality wouldn't quite follow it. But now we have that quality to put a team like that to the sword. And then obviously Larkle was brilliant. I mean, we should have probably been about 3-0 down
Yeah.
after half an hour, but we rode our luck. And when your luck's in, your luck's in. And then you've had the genuine quality and the, from the second goal and pretty much second half onwards, there was only one team that was going to win that game, and that was us because we completely dominated that second half and deserved it. So, yeah, been a really fantastic run for us, and we're going into the playoffs on form. It's not like we've backdoored it and snuck in. We're going in on form, and that makes us dangerous for any team to come up against. And we'll be coming up against a good team, a solid team in Evesham, and one that there's been no goals in any game against Evesham this season. They've both been really tight. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, but if we can play, as I'm sure you could say, if we play like we did against Lark or against Cribs, then, who's to say we can't go and win that?
Yeah, I think after the Bedmonton game, I know Hilly said to me and you, and I think he probably mentioned it in his interview, that there's going to be a few more twists and turns and that we just need to take care of ourselves and what will be. And it felt like the Falmouth game, we played really well. We came out like a house on fire and kind of put them to the sword relatively early on. They're not a bad side either, Falmouth, and were really well backed by their fans as they always are. Cribs. Cribs kind of felt like they'd already knew they were maybe down and were kind of going through the motions. It didn't help that they had a man sent off as well.
Yeah,
Um, I think,
just as they've made the tactical change as well. So
yeah,
bring
just a
him
bit of
on.
tactical change as well.
Yeah,
That felt like one where we needed to win, and that kind of solidified that we were getting up some momentum. Helston, it was quite tense until Ace scored, and you could kind of see the relief around the ground as well. You could feel the atmosphere change, and then as soon as Tom stepped up for that pen, that was that. There was no way Helston were coming back into that. It was frustrating. We maybe couldn't have got another couple more goals in those 2 or 3 games. Bemerton, we threw everything at them as well. On another day, we probably would have got at least a point. They just defended really well. But the twist is that they didn't make playoffs. They've beaten us home and away, and yet they're on the outside looking in. And then Larkhall, we rode our luck, I think is the way to say it. If they had a bit more quality, I think that's unfair, but they came to our place and won 3-0 really relatively comfortably back in the start of the season, maybe September,
yeah, pretty much.
August time. But Jack Thorne's added a different dynamic to the team. He's come back and he's, no pun intended, he really has hit the ground running. But you've also got to put in there that it was a team performance. Ace caused them absolute problems all afternoon. Ben Griffiths was unplayable at times. I thought that Isaac McHugh, when he came on, was just the same as well, added a lot more energy. I know he's spoken about in the interview with David Hilly. It just felt like a team performance, and the lads were going to go out and just leave it all on the line. In American sports, there's a term "go big or go home," and it felt like the boys went big, and they were going to either we were either going to be in the playoffs or we were going to go home with their heads held high and in pride. So it was a great day, really well backed, a lovely ground as well. They've done a lot of work to it, so it was a top day. And I think for me as well, I don't know if you know, but all four goals were very different, and all the goals we've scored in the run up have all been very different types of goals. It's not just tap ins. There's been a few long range efforts in there. Louis' free kick obviously was a touch of class. We've had a few headers in there. We've had some scrappy goals. Um, Ben
Yeah,
Steer probably could have scored twice, except he now decides that he's gonna every game just miss from 2 yards out, um, which is becoming a running theme. Maybe we'll get a highlights package together of all those. But no, it has been a great end to the season, and the lads fully deserve it. As does all of Dave Hilly, Bob, um, all of the guys behind the scenes as well. Chard is obviously the secretary, has to put a lot of work in behind the scenes, and kind of I don't really think gets a lot of credit for that as well. He's obviously kept busy with numerous yellow cards and players coming and going. So congratulations to all those guys. Going to the Evesham game with your heads held high. I think, as a supporter and a volunteer, we're all incredibly proud of what you've done, as we are to the club. So yeah, we did sit down with Dave and Hilly post Larkhall once the boys had finished chucking God knows what around that away dressing room. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when we went in there. I was expecting to see like what, like it was like some sort of like derelict building site in there.
no, to be fair, I think most of the alcohol was consumed rather than sort of chucked about. So
As
they,
as anyone involved with Exmouth Town should do.
yeah,
Don't waste alcohol.
so, yeah. So, but no, and it was good to speak to them. Obviously, they're the people you guys want to hear from. So let's not waste any time. Let's let people hear what they have to say. We'll talk more generally about the season, rather than the post Larkhall game. That video is already out.
Yeah.
So if you want to see their thoughts on that game, go back and watch that. Also go back and watch the Frankie Phillips video if you haven't. And we've also got a Ben Steer one coming as well, coming soon. So make sure you're locked in for that. But without further ado, let's hear from Dave and Hilly.
Well, I think you just look at the turnaround with probably 80% of the squad from last year.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah, it's we said pre-season to try and get Coach County to the playoffs. We've ended up in it, so I think we probably, if you look at last year, we probably overachieved really. But you've got to give credit to the squad. They've had a great start to the season. They've only had one blip really. Okay, went on longer than what we expected, 8 to 10 games, but it's how you finish the season. We finished at 4 wins and a draw, I think, out of the last 5 games. So overall, I think it's been an unbelievable season to finish the playoffs with the amount of good teams that are in it, and the results that they have. And yeah, I think just to finish there from last year has been an unbelievable achievement. So it's been it's been really enjoyable season.
Okay, for your perspective.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, like I said, the aim was what chairman everyone give us playoffs. Like I said, we've done it. Kept on bargaining at all, but you want to do it. And to get there is nice. Yeah. I like to say everyone else finishes now. We'll still go Wednesday, a couple more days, and just take it from there. But I said it's been an effort all year round, isn't it? Just keep people interested, to keep it there. Don't give a It's been great.
And after that really great start to the season, found themselves in second for a long time, and then that form did come, so us drop slightly out of the playoffs. Is there something said about that resiliency of the players to sort of able eventually to put that run aside and end up getting into the playoffs, and especially in such convincing fashion with 4 great wins in the trot?
I think we learned a lot from last year, I'd say. And I think when we were going through that bad spell, we changed formation, we changed personnel, which I think you have to do at times. And then there was just that one time where it clicked. And one win can just change your whole season. I think amount of fun we won, but then we lost the next one. But the lads just seen a different way of playing, and I think we went back to basics really. And then that got us on another run. And that's how you finish the season. So to win before our last 5, draw one as well. It's yeah, it's been a great run.
Okay, it's hard to talk about the season without talking about Frankie Phillips. I mean, what a revelation he's been, a goal and 20 clean sheets to his name as well.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I expected 25, but no, he's been excellent, mate. Like you said, especially for a youngster, he's come on leaps and bounds. Obviously, David did a bit before, but give him his credit. He's been due. He's saved us umpteen times. It's like the keeper's head, do you? Another day we get another keeper saving, but Frankie's reached and everything. Yeah, he's been fantastic. Yes, he will be missed because unless anything happens, yeah, you'll expect him to go on. They might push him on next year if it don't work out. We love it. So, but for us, he was supported this year to be the keeper, and he shone out. He deserved his sports player of the year, really. I think it was a landslide.
I think you've got to thank Exeter for that as well, because I think around Christmas, January, they could have easily moved him on to higher maybe, and so we've got to thank them for keeping with us for the year. But he's enjoyed it, but he has been top draw.
And the defence as well in front of him have been really good. Obviously, Louis Morrison will be partial to a booking as coming from central midfield and really done an excellent job. And you can see with Ollie Knowles as well doing the same thing in the absence of Landicum. So it's and the fullbacks as well doing a great job defence.
Just experienced lads, isn't it? Yeah. You put them in positions. Knowles can play centre half, centre mid. Sometimes, as long as you've got the runners around and with Dennis Cow in it, Luke Steers coming down well, towards it, add something different. Sometimes you just need some wise ahead. Tom Garber used to be it. You know what I mean? Rowley's point is a bit wiser, but you get the older ones. Knowles has been around the block, so he drops down, he reads the game there. You don't have to be quick, but just plug in areas, isn't it? There's just somebody come right in it. But people like Louis, you don't know Louis. Louis can play on the ball. Louis can be brilliant. Louis should be playing higher. If he got himself fit out, he should be playing higher.
You got to put Ritz in that as well.
Yeah,
Ritz start of the season.
Brilliant.
I think I'll probably jinx it one game. I think it was something like 15 games he played. He hadn't lost at the start of the season, so. He was a big part of it as well. And Louis, he's probably, I was the one when he said he wanted to play centre half, I was probably the one who was a bit like, really? But he's been absolutely top draw, same with Mike, same with Ollie. Rory's come in and done a job. Belson's playing in the back three, been phenomenal. So yeah, but as a team, I think as a team we've been defensively good this year. So.
And then on the other end of the pitch, Tom Bath, 20 to 25 goals or something like that to his name. A really good season for him, but even with that run, the strength of depth in that team, for now he's currently out of the side at the moment. Jack Ford now leading the line, just shows the strength in those attacking areas that we have.
Yeah, well, again, that comes down to moments in the season. For a long time, Bath he was the main man scoring goals, and then he had a bit of a dry spell, and then he had a bad back, and then all of a sudden when he had a bad back, we had to change what we were doing. The other lads come in, and that's when the run started. And unfortunately he missed out, but Bath he's been to get 26 goals. It's phenomenal. And he's been really good this year. Real focal point for the team, and you can only praise him really. I'd be surprised when he last scored that amount of goals. But yeah, he's been really fantastic.
Can't follow if you ask to start the season, get 20 plus goals, and you bite your hand off and just leave for it. You know what I mean? So,
should have 35.
Yeah. But no, but it's the same again. As get on well, like you go to it, obviously Grisky, Jack's come back. We've got players coming, even like players like Ethan, you know what I mean? We've got a little bit of a squad. Yeah, so it's just whoever we get, we've got one more to fill on Wednesday, innit? Louis not there Wednesday. So we bring one of them in.
You wouldn't play it. Name them better.
Yeah, like that. Last time I played in that area, we won.
And for you, there must be a sense of pride in the fact that in part of it, especially this team, you've got Ben Steer, Ace High, and some of those players that have been with you from near enough the very start, Aaron Denny as well, Josh Campbell, all those players. So for you to see those players come through,
it's just, don't get me wrong, it's a bit organising where he's coming out since again last year. I just need a different voice. Sometimes I'm back in the same tune, my head's gone all over the place. He's come in, led it from the front, you know what I mean? Help me in other ways, and it just takes we saw the team out during the week, we speak to it, he'll come in, he'll run it as a head rather than two of us conflict and over-talk each other. You know what I mean? It's just work. If there's a different voice, instead of getting me for 5-6 years, you could get bored of the same one. Just need a different, you know what I mean?
It's been quite a structure initiative, the whole players, staff has been, it's run really well. It really has, and praise everybody, players and staff have been amazing. You guys.
Thank you. But behind, obviously, Town obviously had to go on that run, ended up switching to that three at the back and going, to give the whole game away. But what was the thinking behind that change in formation that has seen Town go on this road?
I think it goes back to the Man Farm game where we were 2-0 down and we just said,
Let's go for
I
it.
think I said at that time, do you know what? I'd rather lose 5-0 and have a go than rather, try and play the same way. So changed to a different formation with that, and then we won back, got back and won 3-2, and then it comes to a point where we were just like, let's get on the front foot, because we have been quite defensive this year. Let's be honest, we've been quite hard to beat, but we just thought, let's change the game plan. Let's get on the front foot. Bathy come out to team, let's get 3 runners up front. Lads are attacking pace, and it's just worked. The lads have kicked in, and to be fair to the lads, when you give them a structure, a plan, they've been very, very good and bought into it straight away, which has helped. So you've got to praise the players for doing that and listening, learning, and it's been good to see a different formation. And we've probably played 3 or 4 this year, and every one of them's worked at the right time. So yeah.
Okay, it's been a development season for yourself. You've been nice when you've come on and played. You're obviously managing as well. What will be the moment of this campaign for you so far?
Moment for me, I'll be honest with you, I'm not saying I'll enjoy things like tonight, but to me, it's not over yet and things like that. Yes, if I'll be honest, moment, I did enjoy doing the line. Yeah, there's less pressure, not in the dugout. I put myself through a lot of stress. No, but I can't really say really. When we were sitting second for a long while and we were going away, grinding out results like one the little Ashbury, you do it, but seeing a solid performance at the back, being a defender myself, I love that. Don't get 20, 26, cranky, 21, whatever. It's the same for the defenders. And it's just knowing you've got a structure to build off. You don't have to be playing well, you don't have to be great, you're always in the game. Look at us today. Should be 3 down, nothing. One end of May's bench to a goal and it changed the complexion of the game. Stay in it. And we've learned that where last year, years before, people get places and then that video, you'll show them it on now and it shows me stuff and it breaks it up. You can actually see people positioning like before, they just, not there. You now visually see they're miles away. But again, going back, Josh Cann, Dave Rowe, Callum Shipman, you know what I mean? Aaron Denny, Ethan Slater, Carl Riddell, Eddie Side, Ben Steer. If you go back to League, you know what I mean? It's a side that most of them played Dave's Bridgewater 3 years ago. Yeah? 4 years ago. And if people on that come in thinking they still come back the fold, but we've done it, but just the structure organised, the formations when we're not going well, change its shape. He's come up with some great ideas at our time, let's just go for it. And that's what I need, and that's what he needs, and about something. We don't agree with it, we don't fall out there, but we'll have decisions what we're thinking of making. So, as much as we wanted to freshen up for that Easter weekend, wasn't it? We were in control at Cribs to take enough bodies off, and it made us keep the same side Monday, where we wouldn't have done that usually, would we? Thinking, right, running in fresh legs, but because it allowed us to take people off after 50, 55 minutes, you know what I mean? So it makes our mindset again.
That comes down to having a squad, where last year we probably same 11, same formation, we tweaked it once, I think.
Late substitutions.
This year, you've got to say a highlight, would have to be the lads have been on the adaptability, and they've improved, they've all improved as they'll probably, think it's sort of a joking thing to say, but they've improved the players, you can see that, now they can adapt to different formations and situations in games, so they're now a bit more experienced. So the highlight of the season would probably be the improvement of the team from being second from the bottom to being the player for second for a long time. But to get in the playoffs from that, is massive achievement.
I said, look how much harder they've run then. Off the ball, pressure, closing. Yeah, we're on more time. We are on the side like it. Someone's off there. No, then obviously we change it. But start late substitution a bit last year, late substitution on it. And now they're going to go in and get off. So that's good.
And the signings made through the season have started to really gel as well. Torswan and Luke Steer, who have both come in, and really now you're seeing what they're capable of, as well as Jack Foreman, who almost feels like a new signing since coming back from injury. What an impact have they made through the team?
Yeah, I think we signed Luke, but Denny was injured at the time, and we looked at Luke as a bit of a similar player. But him and Tor, now we've gone again.
Different formations.
Tor had a few quiet games, not so good games. Took him out for a while, had a bit of sulk, and now he's come back in, and he's taken every game by the scruff of the neck. Really, he's got that energy. They both got energy and fitness to die for. I think when they play to their full potential, they're game winners. You know, they win the game shoot. You know, they've done really well. Jack's come back, and to be fair to him, we didn't think he'd be back. Jack thought, but he's come back. He still looks sharp. He's looked after himself really, really well. I'm really happy. And again, back and being injured, he's come straight in and he's given us another dimension, which has been, you know, probably what we needed really at that time. We needed for the results were going. So, no, those three have been good, but then you can't look past Knowlesy. An amazing, sat in the middle of the park for a long, long time. Literally sat, you know, dictated games, but it's just that experience, you know, organising, talking to people through the game. And look how good he's been centre half. I think he's better centre half than he has been centre mid, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, and then Frankie, we spoke about Frankie, and Ben Steers come back. We know what he's all about: pace, getting behind, creating chances. I think it's Griff, yeah. I'm saying here, like, you know, yeah, he has it, hasn't he? You know, he's been, you know, played up front, which is his natural position. A while ago, but I think he's proved this year he didn't.
One player who got get mentioned, put it in 11, Isaac McKinn. Isaac's been one of them where for us, when we size 16, it's easy to put the young lad out. But fair play to him, he's gone out, gone alone, got minutes, never wanted to leave, but he knows it's sort of bench. He's gone out and had his minutes, yes. We would love to play out to Isaac more than the way we do it. He can put it on these services when he comes on, he can work similar, put it, it's just not the goals, you know what I mean? Actually, yes, we know what he can do in it.
I think we've been a bit unjust with Isaac sometimes. He should have brought him on earlier. I think he offers a lot. I think he'll be a regular. He's going to be pre-season. I think he'll be a regular in the team. I think he's got so much potential. He's just naturally a good footballer, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he'll be a big part of next year.
And obviously we still have another game, that Evesham game. Not to talk too much about that game, but to the fans who will be making that long journey, they've been excellent all season, and we expect to see another big turnout on Wednesday. Have you got a message for them, just for their support through the season and coming up as well?
Depends as a coach. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, they've been amazing all season, and you know, someone just said to me, "Oh, I'm going to great turnout against us." It's quite regular. So big thanks to them for the support they've given us all season, the miles they travelled, but get there, you know. When was, you know, expert never in this position before, and so, you know, I don't think you want this to come to the game, get out the M5 and support the team.
Two of the party like that, you know what I mean? Have fun, year to day, go on the Morris, enjoy.
Okay, so I don't think they've said anything, no disrespect. I think they've kind of said what we've all thought. They've touched on, I think it was really nice as well, they touched on everybody in the squad. I know you asked the questions so that they would, but there's a lot of players that maybe have, like Isaac and Ace and Dave Rowe, who have kind of been in and out of the side, who have kind of gone away and got minutes elsewhere, but are still very much a part of what the team's done this year, isn't there?
Yeah, I think Isaac especially is the one that Dave a couple of times now sort of gone out of his way to mention how great his attitude is, and you know, his work rate and the quality, and even admitting himself that he probably wished he played him more. And that tells you the sort of player. We all know how talented Isaac is. Obviously still a way to go, but he's someone that can come in and impact games at this level. So, you know, if he keeps improving, keeps getting better, then it's going to be a pretty good result for us, because we've got a hell of a player on our hands. And yeah, and then, you know, obviously with Kev, it's easy to say, but you know, 6 or 7 of the players in our squad have been with him since Southwest Peninsula, and that's really impressive. I mean, that there is no one in football like Ace High. And like, that's an easy one to go about. There is literally no one that gets paid to play football that is like that. And he's still such a big player for town. Like, this whole change of system, he's a big part of why it's been successful. And you know, he provides such quality in the air, and you know, deceptively quick. People don't probably expect it, but he's rapid. And then you've got the likes of Torswan and Luke Steer, who have really come into their own in the team. Maybe didn't quite start off brilliantly. But I mean, Swan started off with a pen, but then it sort of dipped out, as Dave said. And then he's now just such a dangerous player. You get him on the ball down that right side, you know what's going to happen. Luke Steer's done a hell of a job at left wing back. You know, probably not the position he was expecting to play, but the position he has, and he's done it really, really well. And so you're starting to see that the quality that those players bring in, as well as, you know, the usual, the people we expect the quality to come from, Aaron Denny, Ben Griffith, they're, you know, they're starting to really click as a midfield duo. You can't go anywhere if you're a midfielder in the opposite team. you can't really go 5-10 seconds without them being on you. So it's it's starting to really pull into gear, and obviously Ollie Knowles as well. Got to give a big shout out to him because he's come in at centre back, which isn't his position, I assume. He's been a midfielder and he came and he played so well in midfield and then dropped down into defence and is really orchestrating the back three and obviously Joe Belston, Louis Morrison, we know the quality. So yeah, and obviously Frankie Phillips goes out saying, well, I didn't feel everyone knows how good Frankie is. So yeah, so it's been really, really good and great to see those players get highlighted. And then you've got to say like Rowie and Ethan Slater and Cal, who maybe the minutes have been limited. Obviously, Cal's played a lot, but as of late, been out of the team a bit. But they're all there, and the squad has actually genuinely got real quality. I mean, there's been games this season where we've had 2 subs. There's been games this season where Kevin Hill's come on and played. So the fact now we're sat here with a whole 8. We've got players missing out, and that's a bad thing in a sense for them, but it's a good thing for the club to say that what position we're in, that there are players that aren't coming on match day because there's a full bench already of players that are able to come on and make an impact.
Yeah, and it's a squad of big personalities, isn't it? And that's, I think, at times has got them and us through it. And they seem really, the bond between the players and the team spirit seems really, really good. It feels like they're all in it together. Sometimes you see teams, or you've been to clubs I know personally where you've played away games, and it's kind of, you've heard supporters and people from that club saying that it's kind of sometimes there's friendship groups within inside the team, and that's a bit clicky. It doesn't feel like that when we've been around the team. It does feel like all of them are in it together, and everybody's kind of one big, I don't want to say family, but big group, if that makes sense, and that they're all pulling in the right direction. Obviously, they all want to play. They're all in competition with each other for those minutes, but it feels like that if someone misses out, that they're not publicly, they are supporting their players. They may be behind closed doors going to Dave and Hilly, I want to play, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like,
No.
don't think that. And if someone's thrown off because they're being taken off, again, that's not a bad thing. I've always, as a fan, whatever team I've watched, I've always thought that's a really good, positive thing to have. But not going to talk about Frankie because what can we say? We've said everything there is literally to say, and so have City as well. So Frankie, find some Northern Irish in your family so you can come play for the best home nations team. No, let's look, I suppose, to Evesham. Probably to rob a phrase from Hilly and maybe to play a bit of mind games. There's no pressure on us, really.
No.
We've not been second for a while, which is not is a mixed thing. Maybe it's a good thing going into this game. The pressure is very much on Evesham. Evesham were chasing that title and missed out on the final day. There's no pressure on us. Malvern have beaten us, their place. Bishop's Cleeve beat us at our place. So there is literally no pressure on us as a team, as supporters, as a club.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting game. It'll be close. I can't see it all of a sudden catching fire and it being like this big 4-4 draw. But they're a good side, Evesham. Funny enough, I actually think that the favourites for the playoffs for me are Malvern. They're the team that caught fire. I mean, it was 18 games, 14 wins, 4 draws, unbelievable. And I mean, those that were at the away game, no, they should have probably won that game up 7-0. And somehow we almost drew 2-2. We obviously lost 2-1 in the end. But Bishop's Cleeve are a solid team. Bishop would get results. That's what they do. They're not a team that are going to wow you, but they go in there and they get it done. They've beat Evesham. They've beat us. And Evesham, they've sort of dropped a bit recently, lost to Bishop's Cleeve, obviously last minute goal. So you probably imagine it was a very close game without having seen it. And then obviously losing 2-1 to Bashley last day of the season, that will be a bit of a hit. So 2 losses in a row before that, they were on good form. And they're a good side, they're a solid team. There hasn't been any difference between them and us this season. And I wonder that, obviously they will hold that favourites tag and they will have to be because they, as you say, they ran really close for that league, which many people probably thought was impossible in about November. But that, you can go in there feeling a little bit of confidence, and maybe that lack of pressure will actually help us in the sense of, there's going to be a big crowd there, and a lot of them is going to be Evesham fans or relatives of people that want them to win. And hopefully that can play into our hands and we can just really be solid. And we can't have that first half an hour against Larkle. That's pretty simple. We can't afford that because a team like Evesham will beat you. If you allow that to happen, it will be 3-4. Whereas Larkle weren't able to take those chances. That's why they're 20th. Evesham is second because they can. And where if we can play like we did against Falmouth or we did against Cribs, you never know. Obviously, probably Yate is the performance you want to take from, but obviously that was so long ago now. It's probably hard to gather that momentum from that. But it's going to be really close, and obviously one-off game for anyone that doesn't know. It's not a two-leg tie. I think it goes extra time and penalties if it goes 90. So it's going to be a real test. We're going to be well supported. We're going to have a whole load of people coming up, a whole cast of characters on the coach up, and yeah. So get behind us, enjoy it, and hopefully we can deliver. And we've got the thing on Sunday in Boyd, but hopefully we'll also have something to look forward to Bank Holiday Monday. Another long trip up, but hopefully final maybe. But if we don't, it's the best season the club's ever had. So we'll enjoy it. We'll see what happens, take it as it comes, and yeah, get behind the team. And also just to say, I don't think we're going to be running the commentary for Wednesday just because Evesham, as anyone will know from going there, the signal there is not ideal. That they are going to help us out with making sure we have good reception because last time it took me about half an hour to say the full-time score, which I know annoyed a couple of people, but we will have Wi-Fi hopefully, so we'll be able to do the updates and get that out. And Meg's going to do some content, so you'll get a full picture of that day. But yeah, so if you're not with us, you can still listen to the game, I believe, because Evesham do commentary. So make sure you're on that. It's still a service. It will probably be like the same way when I do the Exmouth ones. It's a little bit, we want Exmouth to win. It's going to be probably a bit like that for them, as anyone's heard club centric commentary before, but it's still something. And if not, if you can't tune in through audio, you can look through text and see what's going on through our Twitter updates or Facebook.
Yeah, and just I know this is obviously an Exmouth Town podcast, but thanks to Evesham as well. They've been really helpful to me. Now, some clubs are not always helpful, but Evesham have gone above and beyond. There's been a lot of messages flying about between us and them. And just a shout to Melksham as well. Thank you for your messages on Saturday. It's very much appreciated. Yeah, I think, and maybe just a little to the players, like you've got no pressure, boys. They're going to come out and go at you. They're home. The impetus is on them. David Hill will be telling you this. I don't know why I'm telling you it because I'm a chubby man in my mid-30s. We're all incredibly proud of you, what you've achieved so far. If you lose, it doesn't change this season at all. If you win, it does change this season because we've got another game and we've got to go to Malvern or Bishop's Cleeve on Monday. But what will be will be. Exmouth Town will be here next season. We're going to win the league next season. I've already decided. You keep pushing on. If you can't, there's no backward step at Exmouth Town. I've decided. Just because you fall over. I'm trying to think of someone that's fallen over and running back. It's probably Ace. Ace has fallen over quite a lot this year, doing funny things. No, in all seriousness, we will see you on Wednesday. If you're going, bring your voices. The boys are going to need it. If you're not going on Wednesday, back us from home or wherever you may be. This has been the goal, I think, for the team for the last 3 seasons to try and get to the playoffs. We've finished the highest we've ever finished in the football pyramid, 20 clean sheets. We've had some amazing comebacks, some amazing games where we looked dead and buried and we've managed to either get a win or a point. Everybody to a man has left everything on the line for the team, and the club as well has been massively supported by the community of Exmouth and all the supporters, all the volunteers. So enjoy yourself. This is our reward for all of those months of hard work, all of those miles, all of that, Nath and all of you guys that have travelled pretty much to every game, all of those late nights after a home game, getting up to go to work the next day, all of those times the lads have felt rough and have been aching because they played 2 games in a week. This is our reward for all of that hard work. And a thank you to all of the sponsors, all of the board, everybody that's put money into the club, has bought a shirt, has even just bought a 50-50 ticket. We've had supporters travelling from Torquay. My dad's come to a load of games from Barnstable. Tommy has come from Newport down loads of times with his dad and granddad as well. Like, the club is becoming more loved all over the place. People just come down for one game and they keep coming back. So this is our reward for not, and I think it's the reward as well for all of that hard work since Hilly's come in all those years in the Peninsula, the Western League, all that time through COVID. This is the reward and the day out we all get for that. So go enjoy it. What will be will be. Up the Blues.